Another big question is, because it's all over the internet, guys love to chit chat about stuff on the internet, and quite often it's things that they don't know about, but yet they're voicing their opinion. Do I have to cut the air boot? The short answer to that is no. The air boot really doesn't have to be cut on any model. On the XC models, it definitely doesn't have to be cut. Those have a little more room. And on the W models and EXC models, like in Europe or other countries like Australia and New Zealand, they have EXC models, which are the same as our XCWs. So like 13 and 14 XCWs, it's a little bit tight there. Other years, not so much. There's also several different boot styles over the years. There's ones with like 2 ribs that the hose clamp sits between. Other ones only have 1 rib there. So I just installed one on a friend's bike last night. I should say my friend's steaming pile. And it was, I'll just kind of go through how I did that with you. So see, let's back up just a little bit and focus over here. And then come around here. So you can see the carburetor installed here, and you can see the boot. Hopefully she can get around there and see the boot. Well, I didn't cut this boot, and it fits just fine. This is a W model. This is a 2011. It was snug to get it in there. I'll admit that it was definitely a tight squeeze. So what I did to make it easy was I unbolted the muffler. I didn't take the muffler off the pipe. I just unbolted it and let it hang there. Then I took, let's go over this way. I took this bolt off on both sides. This is the subframe bolt. And then I just tilted the subframe up a little ways. And then with my other hand, I guided the air boot onto the carburetor. And once I got it into position, then I tightened the hose clamp. And at that point, the bolt holes still didn't quite line up. The subframe was still up a little bit. So then I pushed the subframe down and stuck the bolts in. And the air boot, you know, it looks pretty normal. It probably maybe compressed it some, but it looks pretty darn normal, and it fits just fine. So, you know, cutting the boot makes it easier to get in probably, but personally I wouldn't cut the boot on any bike. I think if you use that method, lift the subframe up some and install it like that, that you'll be good to go. So let's go back over here to the carburetor. Guys always want to know if it's plug and play. Well, my short answer to that would be yes, but you know, the longer answer is nothing's really plug and play. Not even spark plugs sometimes. I mean, I have customers call me up and tell me how they cross through the spark plug. So the simplest things on motorcycles, guys, can screw up. I think some people just need to lock up their toolbox. But regardless, this is as close to plug and play as it gets when it comes to a performance item like this. And when I say performance, these carburetors definitely give more low end and mid-range. They definitely give a smoother power delivery, and they definitely get better fuel mileage. Guys are wanting me to quantify that. Well, how much? I'm sure they want me to give them a number, 22.573 or something. Well, I'm not that anal. You know, it's better mileage by quite a bit. I'm going to say it's 15 to 20%. I'm not going to waste a bunch of my time trying to calculate that. I've got better things to do. I like to ride. I don't like to overanalyze things. So, as far as plug and play goes, on my own personal experience was I put it on my 300XC. I made maybe an 1/8 of a turn adjustment on the idle screw, and I rode it. I didn't ride it around the block and pop some wheelies and whack the throttle like some videos. I really hate wheelie videos, and I hate testing bikes around the neighborhood and making an evaluation from a 2-minute ride around the block. That makes no sense whatsoever. Bolt it onto the bike, set it to where it idles correctly, and go ride it. Don't obsess about it, don't worry about it, don't even think about it. Just put gas in the tank, hit the starter, and go ride. And enjoy it. And I think you'll be amazed at how well it works. A lot of guys have also asked this week on the technical side of it, on how it actually compensates for elevation and temperature. And that's another video in itself. I'm going to make one of those probably next week. I'll go into the details of how it actually works, how it compensates, but I can't squeeze that into this video. Let me look at my cheat sheet here. So how do I route the cable is a common question. So like I mentioned before, the cable that we have now is 3 inches longer. So it goes in front of the triple clamps. When we have the 1 inch longer ones, then you'll be able to run it in the stock position. And I like the cable to go on the left side of the frame, although it can go on either side. KTM has changed that back and forth over the years on how they do it. It doesn't really matter, it can go either way. I think it's a smoother arc on the cable if it goes down the left side of the frame. But you can choose your own routing there. And as you figured out from one of my previous videos, one of my biggest pet peeves that people want to tinker with, because they haven't taken their tinkeritis pill, is they want to mess with the float level. So it's got a marker here. It says level, and there's a line below it. And if the carburetor, if you hook this carburetor up to your gas tank right now, just ran a hose over your gas tank so you could have a gas source, and held it perfectly straight up and down, well, it's going to come up to that line, maybe slightly above it. But when you put it on the bike, the intake track is angled, so the carburetor actually sits about like this. So that makes the the float level look too high. Well, leave it alone. The best thing you can do is to leave it alone. It's adjusted at the factory. Guys call it, oh, I didn't adjust my float right at the factory. Well, they're not stupid there. Actually, they're extremely sharp guys. The floats are adjusted correctly at the factory. Leave them alone. Just install it and ride it. So, leave the floats alone. You know, you best leave. I've had guys just take them apart just to see what's in there. Well, that's fine and dandy, but you're just taking a chance of messing things up. Also, guys ask if they need to order the float bowl bracket. Well, as you can see on this bike, it's already got, or this carburetor's already got one on it. I don't know when they started adding these, but all of them that we've gotten have these on them already. So if you have an older carburetor, we've got them in stock. But if you're ordering a new carburetor, you do not need to order the float bowl bracket. And the purpose of that bracket is this is a nylon float bowl. And so it's not quite as structurally stable as an aluminum float bowl would be, like on the stock carburetor. So if you over tighten the screws, then you can kind of warp the float bowl and make it leak. That's why they put this bracket on here, to give it more support, to make it more dummy proof, basically. No offense, we all do have our dummy moments, so don't get your panties in a wad over that comment. Guys always email me, I just got my carburetor in, I'm just checking it out, I haven't put it on the bike yet, what do I need to change before I install it? It's back to what I talked about before, leave it alone. Just install it, you don't have to change anything. Install it, start it, set the idle, and ride it. Let me think here. I think those are all the questions that I've come up with this week. I think I've covered all of them that were in the previous video, plus some. If you have questions, you can contact me at info@slavensracing.com. I do respond to my emails. If I don't respond within 24 hours or less, I didn't get it. Or sometimes if you email me on a Saturday night, you're sitting there in front of the computer with a beer in your hand and you send me a question, well, you're not the only one doing that. I get hundreds and hundreds of emails on the weekends, and sorry guys, but I ride on weekends. I'm not going to spend my whole weekend answering emails. I do occasionally answer emails on weekends. I do it when I can, but that means on Monday morning I've got a huge inbox full of emails that might take me a couple days to get through. But you are welcome to send me a second email if you think I didn't get it or whatever. Or our telephone works just great, and I've got a whole staff of people that answer it. unlike a lot of internet businesses that don't answer their phone, we answer our phone. So give us a call. If my staff can't answer your question, they'll get a hold of me. And do you know of any other internet business where you can get a hold of the boss? I don't think so. I constantly talk to customers. I talk to customers all day, every day. I've been doing this for 45 years. If I don't know the answer, I don't know the answer to everything. If I don't know the answer, I can find the answer. I've got a large group of guys that I've know and worked with over the years, and I can answer questions. So feel free to call me if you don't get a response on the email. Also, we have a instant chat thing on our website. We don't usually man that on Mondays because we're too busy, but the rest of the week we do. You can contact us that way as well. So we do our best to give excellent customer service. I mean, you can contact us by phone, email, chat. And if that doesn't work, I don't know what to do for you, but I think that should cover the bases, and I'll be glad to answer whatever I can, whenever I can. That's all for now.